him and he came back again to Jerusalem. He said, what is wrong with you? What level are you operating on? Peter was a man that whatever he needs from God, he will cry and cry and cry. Apostle Paul will say, it is already God. So what happened? God has to separate Apostle Paul and Peter. Because none of them were kind of want to compete with each other or wanted to do. They all wanted to do what God wanted them to do. So what happened there was that Peter depended on the invisible, Apostle Paul depended on the invisible. And they were able to hear from God direct, to be able as a pastor to pastor well, as an apostle to apostle well. Does that make sense? In our churches today, we are only competing, we are not complementing. We use other people to check our successes. It is wrong. Oh, that pastor, okay, we only have 3 pastors in Adelaide. 3 pastors in Adelaide. The other ones, oh, they have resigned, but I've not resigned. Then I'm the one doing the right thing. That's nonsensical piece of radical nonsense. It's like I'm forgetting this English. Am I making sense? All I want to destroy in our mind this morning. Okay, look at Easter. If you see the kind of ceremony going on, if you see the kind of things people are doing, for goodness sake, God doesn't see the outside. He watches the heart. He sees the heart. If you see people going to church on Easter, going to church on Good Friday, everything. In fact, some of them didn't eat meat that day. That meat, somebody was telling me, was asking me, do you eat fish? I said, yes, I eat fish. Oh, he said, this is so bad. You know, fish that is small like this, and you eat it, you kill it. You are a wicked man. I said, really? I said, what do you want to have for dinner? Lamb chop. So you eat lamb. Oh, you eat lamb. Lamb is big. The lamb is big. So don't mind me. That's the things we do. I mean, he doesn't want to eat fish. Anybody, if you see how he was shouting everywhere, you eat fish. I hate this man. I said you are eating chop. Don't forget you are eating lamb chop. This and even chicken. You eat chicken. So you eat chicken and this and that. This is confusion. Australia, we say, I remember when we were having our guest speakers, 2 guest speakers at a time, and we decided to buy goat. And while we were kind of doing the normal way to process the goat, somebody saw me and said, don't ever share this on the media. I said, what does that mean? He said, Australia, we call it animal brutality. I said, what of the butchers? The butchers, you see pig, they show it. What is your problem? This is what we call moral confusion. You think you are doing good, but you are confused. You are exposing your confusion. The confusion in you. You are so confused. And this is what is happening to a lot of pastors. This is what is happening to a lot of people that call themselves Christians. Sometimes if you see there where they are arguing, Dr. Miles Monroe said he entered into an airplane and he saw a woman, white horse, white hair, white body, white everything, white Bible, white seat, everything. And the way she was speaking, Miles Monroe says, I pretended not to be a Christian. Because if that woman is a Christian and she's the one shouting, everybody, in fact, I pretended not to be a Christian. Because I'm confused. What is she preaching? What is she doing? So many people have called me and said, how is it you are doing full time? I said, what? There's nothing like full time. That was the level Apostle Paul operated on. But Peter operated on the level of full time and short time ministry. Peter was very much engulfed with the Old Testament. He didn't understand that we were just talking about physical and spiritual. Peter was still moving people to act physically. And anytime he comes in contact with Apostle Paul will say, no, stop doing this. But instead of them bringing moral confusion among their followers, they parted ways. And you can hear the testimony. Apostle Paul said, I did more than all of them. Even though I was the least. Even I was the last that encountered Christ. But yet I did more than all of them. Am I making sense? A lot of people, ministers, young ministers, they don't know their gifts. Just like Peter and Apostle Paul. They both knew their gifts. And they maintained. But how were they able to be able to know when they needed to part ways? Because they choose the invisible. We are in Australia now. Africans doesn't even know. Genuine Africans that God himself dispatched to Australia. They don't even know that they are of a greater spiritual blessing to Australia than all the favor that Australia is giving to them. Moral confusion. They entered Australia. The good road we are seeing in Australia, we're not seeing it in Africa. The way they organize and getting tax from those that are rich and using it to help those that are doing nothing. They don't see it in Africa. These are moral good things. But when they came, because of that, they forgot that they are here for spiritual things and not for material things. Romans 17 verse 25. Is it Romans 15, 27? Romans 15, 27. Yes.
It had pleased them verily in their depths. They are. Yeah, they are. For if the Gentiles have been made partakers of their spiritual things, their duty is also to minister unto them in carnal things.
Look at it. We came with spiritual things. I don't know about other Africans. If you want to know true Africans that God dispatched from Africa to Australia, look at Pastor Joseph. I'm number one. I am the reason. It's not those Africans that are messing up that came here and they think they have entered their heaven. No, if you want to know how and the reason why God is bringing Africans to Australia, go and check Pastor Joseph. Take Peter Joseph, then you find out. I came here to erase every moral confusion. I came here to prove to God that Jesus the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. Though knowledge is increasing, truth is not increasing. And that is truth decreasing. Where have you not seen it in my life? Have you not seen it in my boldness? Have you not seen it in my family? Have you not seen it in my business? Why have you not seen the glory of God upon my life? That's the reason I came to tell Australians, no matter how wise you think you are, without God you are nothing. Without God you are nothing. Without God you are nothing. No matter how beautiful you think your country is, no matter how organized you think you have organized yourself, without Jehovah, all these things you think is going to fall on you. Anything made by man comes with the seed of death. Unless Jehovah is involved. If Jehovah is not involved, the end shall be destruction. And you are seeing it. The way Australia is right now wasn't the way it was last 20 years or 30 years. Things are decaying. And yet, you don't want to think about it. The Bible says, Righteousness exalts a nation. Sin is a reproach. Oh, go and ask people that hosted welcomed in 2010. Go and ask them. Go and ask them about Pastor Joseph. I don't know what kind of man that man is. We've seen that man in the lowest level. Seeing him in the highest level now, we are confused. And he came with nothing. We accommodated him. But he has not changed his word. He has not changed his message. His message is still the same. Why? Because I'm seeing the invisible. I'm choosing the invisible. I'm looking onto the invisible. I'm holding the invisible. I'm not holding the physical. If you're holding the physical, and knowledge is increasing, but that doesn't matter. The greatest knowledge that I have is the word of God. Jesus is saying yesterday, today, and forevermore. It doesn't change. Nothing shakes it. It doesn't matter. The books, the messages people are preaching. That's all we do here. Talk, no do. We talk. Come and do it. We can't do it. Talk. The greatest deliverance we need is in the advice we give others. But yet, when that problem comes upon us, it destroys us. I'll show you an example. Let's go to Hebrew chapter 11, 24 to 27. Can you read it? Then I explain. Then we close.
By faith, Moses.
By faith! But what is faith? Believing those things that be not as though they were. Believing those things, evidence is substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen. Believing holding the invisible. Youth, are you getting it? This is youth week. Everybody would have said, no, this is Easter. It's not Easter to me. What is Easter? Our nonsense. What do you mean by Easter? What do you mean by Christmas? If you cannot change, you change it. You go every Easter, you only pretend that our 1 hour Easter, Jesus died, I will not eat meat, I will not eat fish, I will not. The next day you become a killer, killing machine. It's useless. You need to every day of your life. By faith, believing the invisible, looking for the invisible. Read it.
By faith, Moses, when he was come of a 2 year, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh.
Do you know who Pharaoh was at that time? The most strongest man on earth at that time. And Pharaoh had opportunity. Moses had opportunity to be one of his sons. And Moses, when he said, I can't be confused. Something is happening. I'm not very comfortable. I need to hold something stronger. Yes. Do you know who Moses was? Moses, when they want to wake him up, they don't touch him. They put good music for him. So that they don't, he was a prince. Do you know, you don't understand. His situation was 100 times better than your situation in Australia. But when he started getting that, he said, no, something, dreams. I was getting dreams. Who am I? Moral confusion. He said, the only way I can get out of this is to this. Who am I? Somebody have to let me know. Continue.
Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God.
This man chose to leave the palace. Just like I'm telling my family now. I say, I'm getting the burden. You don't understand. Sometimes something happened to just move you to your name. Maybe you are moving away from the journey. I said, the same burden I was getting when God wanted me to start CGMI Australia. I've started getting it for CGMI Canada. I'm no more comfortable in Australia. I'm no more comfortable. I have to tell you the truth. And imagine, what is God asking me to do? God is asking me to go and build, what do I say? How do I explain it? 1 billion something. And my family here that is just enjoying $100. And they are saying, don't go, stop talking like that. So you are going to imagine people, if I hit that 1 billion, their life will never remain the same. But because that is normal with human beings, when you want to expand, there are fences. There is a fence around you. You don't want to break the fence because you are too comfortable. You think you have come to your final. Oh, don't talk about that. Daddy, you are talking as if you are not going anywhere. He's there with us here. And God is calling. Moral confusion. I have to go that which is irreversible. Moses said, no, I'm not comfortable. My dreams are not aligning with what I'm doing. It's not working with what I want to do. Moral confusion. So he chooses to suffer affliction with where he has peace than to enjoy all the Central Leagues in Australia and enjoy all the Australian dollars. He chooses to suffer. Continue.
Choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. Esteeming the reproach of Christ greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward.
Continue. The last one. Listen very well.
By faith, he forsook Egypt.
He left Egypt.
Not fearing.
I'm leaving Australia. I'm leaving Australia very soon. Whether my family like it or not, or don't. Whether everybody here like it or not. My next, I must finish well. I want by my 30, 68 year, I have finished building my university and the 20,000 seater church. And if I don't establish Canada and establish Israel, that vision is not in view. Read that final verse again. By faith.
By faith, he forsook Egypt.
He left Australia.
Not fearing the wrath of the king.
Not even minding the good time they party every night. The pop, the rendezvous, and the center. They continue.
For he endured.
He endured.
As seeing him who is invisible.
He saw the one that is the empress of the church.
Through faith, he kept the Passover.
He, your boy, saw. I didn't say continue. He saw the one. Moses was confused, morally confused. What is happening? You know the question I was asking me and my wife. I was asking my wife, why is it that the healing that happened in the time of Jesus, it still happened when Ketukuma was there? It still happened when Ororabot was there. It still happened when Kenneth Hagin was there. It happened when Idahosa was there. Why is it not happening in the church anymore? Another type of moral confusion. Now, when you see me wear this collar, this thing as I'm dressed now, you think I'm more powerful than when I'm wearing band only. It's the same. This is ceremonial. This is the time we are celebrating Easter. I just have to change my dress so that you understand something is happening. I'm not more powerful when I'm wearing only brief alone in the house. And what is the same? The same anointing. There's nothing. One day my son didn't understand. I forgot to wear this. He said, Pastor, you're not wearing your clothes. I said, it doesn't make any difference whether I wear it or not wear it. By faith! Now, you know why it's good to hold on to the invisible. Go to quickly, let's close with that. 2 Corinthians chapter 4. Start from 16 to 18.
For which cause we faint not.
For which cause we faint not.
But though our outward men perish.
Outward men perish yet, when we do not hold on to the invisible. Continue.
Yet the inward man is renewed day by day.
Our spirit is renewed. Continue.
For our light affliction.
The light affliction.
Which is for a moment. Worketh for us a far more exceeding eternal weight of glory.
Yes.
While we look not at things which are seen,
Why we look not at the things which are visible,
but the things which are not seen,
but the things which are invisible. Why should we look unto the continue?
For the things which are seen,
for the things which are seen are what?
Are temporal.
Are temporal.
But the things which are not seen are eternal.
But the things which are invisible, it has power here on earth and in heaven. How many of you will only want to be blessed on earth, and in heaven you will be nobody? You will be nothing. Then hold on to the things that are seen. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 19. If your service is unto Jehovah, it's for the things on earth. He said you are of all men most miserable. But when you hold on to the invisible, things not unseen, you will never make a mistake. You will see at a time, your family might not like what you're doing, but after they are the one enjoying. My life has my life has been poured out like water. I have only, sometimes you are the ones. You are more than conqueror. I must finish the race. I see my crown, and I cannot miss that crown. I wouldn't want to build on another man's. I wouldn't want to live my life as nobody. And that's why I've made a choice to hold on to the invisible. I'm not willing. It doesn't matter. And do you know what happens when you hold on to the invisible? It's written in John chapter 3, verse 8. He said the wind blows. They will hear it, but they don't know where you're going and where you're coming from. You will look stupid before men. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I will hold on to that which is invisible. And I will be moved. Though men might not see. The things that are unseen, invisible, they are forever. But the things